Hello everyone, here's Don here again with another update on the Corsair project. Today started working on the cowling mold for making the engine cowling. As you can see, I've got everything already cut and fitted and glued in basic shape. Still needs all the sanding. And to do it, you can see I did this. Cut these pieces out like this to utilize the most material I can out of a 4x8 sheet of foam. And after I'm done, that's all that's left. It's about 15 inches square. These pieces are part of the nose cowling. This group here, those were extras. So what I did is I cut these out. This is the top disc that will set on top of here. The bottom disc and the plans, excuse me, plans called for this disc to be square, and then what they tell you to do is cut a piece of 1/2 inch foam, triangle piece that you glue on here, and then after this is all sanded in shape, this gets wax paper, because then you start laying your strips of foam around here to actually make the cowling. This will all be sanded, and it'll go to a 1-inch taper from the bottom to the top. So what I did is I beveled the bottom piece to have that in there already, so I don't have to put a piece of foam in there. So now this is basically ready for sanding. I'll take and center this disc. This is the top disc. Be centered on here, glued down, and I'll put a rod through the center of it. You can see I got a hole in the middle there, 1/4 inch. And I'll clamp it together and square it all up. And then this will be, I may end up having a rod stick out on each side, so I could flip this thing on its side, put it on a stand, sort of like that, and then I can spin and sand it at the same time. Okay, to do these pieces, to get these things shaped like this, I drew up a drawing in my CAD program to get the dimensions of everything. Now this is for a perfectly round cowling. The Corsair cowling is actually 1 inch wider than it is tall because of the Continental engine. Doesn't fit well in the cowling, but I've got my Subaru Legacy engine over there. It's smaller than the Continental, so I can make the cowling physically round. Okay, so what I did is use my little Lowe's bandsaw here, and I set this up. I drilled a hole in here which is center line with the front of the blade, and then I use this little jig here with this little eyelet bolt, and I can move that anywhere out here to get any radius I need. And then I made this little board here. Got a little screw sticking through there, and then I got various holes in here right now. This hole is to do this last piece, and what I need to do is shape this piece like those pieces. The inside radius of the cowl opening, 21 inches. So then this here little guy, get it up here where you can see, centers. Sorry about this, but trying to get it centered. Alright, and now all I got to do is turn this on. Piece of scrap and a whole trash can full of scrap, and that's how I did it. But basically change the radius by moving this rod out on this to the length I need from there to there, and I was able to cut all these pieces. Now each one of these pieces are different radiuses. These are the nose cone sections. There's I think that's it. Yeah, there's 3 different stacks, 1, 2, 3, and it'll give me the 6 inches I need. So that's how I made all that. So this turned out really well, and then I drew lines on there, and I pre-fit every single piece before I started gluing them. And this is Gorilla Glue, this stuff. You put the glue on one side, spray the other part with a little water, dampen it, put them together, and voila. So that's where I'm at. Now, what I'm going to do is, next step is get this panel centered, glued in place, get a rod centered through it, and get it ready to make a little rotisserie and sand that to shape. Essentially, I'm going to be taking off a good 1/2 inch up here, and then it'll be flush down here. So it'll have a 1-inch taper from the bottom to the top, and then that'll allow you to pull the finished cowl up and off the top. So this is what goes on first. This will get sanded to shape, and then that ring, those pieces will get glued together after the foam is laid on here, the 1/2 inch strips. So I've got that 1-inch sheet there. I'll rip them into like 2 to 2.5 inch wide rips, and then I'll stand them on edge, put the fence in here, rip them right down the middle, and give me my 1/2 inch thick sheets I need to wrap this around. They'll be 8 foot long, and the radius of this is just under 8 foot. So as you go all the way around and back, so they'll be just long enough, overlap, trim off, so they all get glued on that way. So that's where this is at. Hopefully by the end of today I'll have this sanded to shape, and I'll be ready to start cutting that sheet up. But I wanted to show you guys how I did this. If you try to make these rings solid, you're going to use a lot of material. I mean, that's literally one full sheet. That's all that's left, one full sheet. That's 4x8, and these things are about $35 a sheet. So, all right, that's where I'm at. I'll when I get this finished, sanded down and together, I'll do another video. So look for that in probably next weekend. All right, hope everybody enjoyed watching the video. This is Dino Don out.